So I wanted to take a moment and use this video to talk to you a little bit about the coaching industry. And I'm calling this 3 by 3 by 3 because I'm going to give you three stats about the current situation and the coaching industry and what's going on and why the craze. Why are you hearing so much about it? Why are people becoming coaches? And what's going on in the world when it comes to becoming a life coach or maybe a business coach, depending on your background and how you're walking in. The second thing I want to share with you are three myths about coaching that a lot of people believe. And honestly, a lot of the gurus out there are really pushing, which are not true. They're just not. And, I'd like to say they might not be true, but they're just not true. I've been in this industry too long. And number three, what are three attributes or signs that may show that you might be a coach? You may want to do this, switch to this, right? A lot of people are pivoting out of their current jobs into coaching and creating their own coaching business, but also a lot of people are using it inside their industry or letting it walk along. I have a really great client who owns his own insurance company, but at the same time has I don't want to say it's a side gig because it's very powerful. But he also coaches beside what he does, and it becomes a really powerful partnership. Matter of fact, he just texted me today with woohoo some stats that are incredible about what he's doing in his coaching business alongside what he's doing. So, first, let's start with the three stats of why the craze of coaching. What is going on, and why are you hearing about it? In Forbes, there's been a major shift in recent years with the priority of most individuals and organizations. So there's been this major shift in the priorities of most individuals and organizations. Coaching was once considered a remedial solution for underperformers, but now it's become a proactive strategy for unlocking human potential. Organizations and individuals recognize the transformative power. Coaching is different than giving advice, it's different than mentoring, it's different than training. It actually unlocks the transformative power. It also cultivates leadership skills, it enhances performance and fosters positive mindset. Matter of fact, one of the articles that I read was talking about the psychological capital and how coaching actually enhances that and grows and grows psychological capital. What is psychological capital? It's hope. It's the ability for people to hope. What does hope mean? It's a feeling of I have the ability to reach the goals that I am trying to reach. If you're really boiling that down into what is hope, it is I have the control to reach the goals that I want to reach. The next one is self efficacy, which means I have control of my future. I have control of myself. I have control. It's the ability uh, to self-regulate ourselves, right? The next is resilience, the ability to not only get up, but to get up quickly and wiser. And so coaching actually builds that. And optimism, being able to see opportunity instead of obstacle, which is one of the major parts of leadership, is being able to do that. So coaching actually increases psychological capital in a individual or in the individuals in an organization, which is what we're finding. Had these companies that have coaching culture, 51% of them report having a much higher revenue than companies who have not adopted the coaching culture. Number two, the coaching industry has now generated 62% more in 2022 compared to 2019. In 2019, it was a $2.9 billion industry. And now in 2022, it was reported to be a $4.564 billion industry. There is a much stronger demand for coaching because people are starting now to understand the power of it. Here's what I want you to understand is that in the first industry or the first sector that understood the power of coaching was athletes. Think about what was going on there. They when you would see an individual with a skill set that seemed to shine, immediately you would get them a coach. Why? Because a coach is a second set of eyes. A coach is a partner. A coach can see things that the athlete cannot see. And so the power of having a coach is that coach is skilled to be able to take an athlete that has an average, a little above average skill, and take them to places that that athlete could not do on their own. That's what they're finding now in the life realm as well as the business realm. And coaching, it's the same. It's the ability to walk beside partner, have the ability to listen intentively and intentionally, to be able to ask powerful questions at the right time, and it creates this revelatory um, we even know psychologically and scientifically what happens to the brain when the right question is asked at the right time, and how it opens up the kind of dormant part of our brain and it brings it to the front part of the brain where it is forward thinking. Like this is where more awareness happens, and so that revelation begins to happen. I simply say this: you can't see the label when you're inside the bottle, but your coach can. Okay. Even as a coach, I always have a coach and mentor in my life. Number three, 80% of the people who receive business coaching reported an increase in self confidence. Do we need more self confidence? Oh my goodness, we do in the world. The top five most common benefits of business coaching are increased self confidence. 80% reported that. Improved relationship. 73%. Do we need better relationships both in the work and at home? Yes. Communication skills. Communication skills is the number one thing that busts up businesses, bust up families, all of it. Communication skills is highly important. The ability to communicate with the people around you, highly important. 72% showed an increase in communication skills, interpersonal skills, 71%, and work performance, 70%. The shift has been incredible. And because of that, the coaching industry is booming. Supply and demand, you guys, supply and demand. But there are three myths that are being kind of passed around, and in some ways, some gurus are pushing this. And I really want you to know these are not true. Number one, I've lived through it, so I can coach it. That is not true. Just because you've lived through it doesn't mean that you can coach it. Number one, coaching is a skill. Number two, living through something doesn't mean you conquered something. It means you may have even I mean, you may have feel better, you may have dealt with what you have done, but it doesn't mean that you know how to break that down and take people to those next steps. It just isn't true, you guys. So does it mean that you can't coach in a realm that you have lived through? Yes, you can, if you have the skills, you're called to do it, and you have truly won in that. You have excelled in that. And so it's a myth that always, let me say that. Number two, coaching is just counseling. No, that's a myth. Coaching is not counseling. It's the opposite of counseling. As a matter of fact, counselors and therapists, they're licensed to do that. I do not take a place, even if I am a life coach, I do not take the place of a therapist or a counselor. Therapists or counselors take someone at a minus 10 and they bring them to that 0 point, right? To that 0 point. They bring them through healing. They have the capability. They've been skilled in that place. At that point of zero is when a client then needs a coach, and they would partner together for a while, a therapist and a coach, because what a coach does is move them forward. We take them from a 0 to a plus 10. We're all about moving forward. Counselors are about reaching back and bringing the healing they need. As a matter of fact, there are times when someone comes for coaching and I have to defer them to a therapist. They are not healed enough to move forward. They need to heal so that they are ready to move forward. So that's second myth. Coaching is counseling. No, it's not. It is not counseling. It is not giving advice. The other thing is, well, coaching's just natural. I coach all the time. It is not natural. Now, listen, as a kingdom coach, we will have supernatural gifts, spiritual giftings that make us know that coaching would be an area in our life that we could lean in on. I am looking for that. You're going to see that when I get into the signs. But if you are not skilled, it is not just a natural trait. It is not just something you can do naturally because it just comes from your heart. As a matter of fact, that's the most dangerous thing you can do. And that's the reason why a lot of coaches out there that have not been well trained, doesn't mean they're not certified, because there's some certifications out there that I just shake my head with. And some of them are very expensive, and some of them are that tout themselves as being the standard, and they're not, just saying. But um the if you are not a skilled coach, it is not natural if you have not been trained well, because it is a skill. It is a well, it's a skill and it needs to be taught. Okay, I won't go in, I don't have enough time to dig into all of that. But what are some signs that coaching might be the right fit for you? People seek your advice, and a lot of people find worth in your opinion or your wisdom. That is a sign that there is some sort of spiritual gifting that might lead me to think that becoming a coach might be the right pathway for you. You have been successful in an area and have a passion to share that with others. You have been successful in an area and you have a passion to share that with others. There are two key words there. You've been successful, right? Not mediocre, not I once did it. You've been successful at something. And because of that, you have a passion. And I use the word passion on purpose. You truly want to help other people excel in that area, because part of being a coach, you're going to have a passion and a purpose and a belief system in what you do in order to help someone get there. Okay. Number three, you've probably been a teacher, a minister, a Bible teacher. You desire to write a book and you have a heart for people. Coaching is a people business. We are there with people as they struggle to reach goals they've never reached before. As a coach, we stand beside them and get them to places that they could not get there without us. And so it is a people skill, and you need to have people skills. Um, you also need to have a desire. The reason why I picked words like teacher, minister, Bible teacher, and you have a desire to write a book is that there is an element of study, an element of wanting to bring wisdom to the table that comes with coaching. I'm a little bit different than some of the coaching certifications out there where they actually say all you do is ask questions. I don't believe that. I do believe that questions is the um it is the center of coaching. But the truth of the matter is, you also have to come with some wisdom. You need to be able to kind of take your hat off. There is some mentorship as well as coaching. You just have to know when the coaching is in place and when the mentorship is in place, or when the training is in place. Many coaches also train. A lot of coaches write books. And I've just seen that people that have some sort of background or some sort of desires in that area become very effective and powerful coaches. So, three myths, three stats, three signs that you might be a coach. Hopefully, that helps you understand what's going on. That's very surfacey, you guys. There's such power in coaching. 7 years ago, when I took my first certification, I remember just sitting at my desk with my hands, with my face and my hands just weeping, knowing that this skill could change the world. And it's created a passion in me. And that's the reason why it is my heart to empower as many Christian men and women to take their skill set, their passion, and their purpose and turn it into a powerful, thriving coaching business that they love without compromising their walk with Christ. Because there's a lot of junk out there also in the new age realm of coaching that you need to stay away from. So, if you are someone that is like, I think I resonate with what you're saying, Coach Francine, I want to dig in. I want to make a decision of whether or not coaching is right for me. We always have training classes running, and so we would love to just chat with you. We'd love to hear your story. We'd love to just kind of give you some ideas of what coaching could look like. And if that's something that you want to do, you can get a free call with one of our strategists or one of our elite coaches at consumedstrategycall.com. And yeah, let's meet. There's no obligation, it's a free call. Let's just see what God has in store for you. All right. I will see you next time in another video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and share us with a friend.